Torah guardian, speaking the absolute truth. Torah nation. Shalom, 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 Yasharon, Yahudah. Grafted in Gentiles into the body of Hamashiach. We're listening to Hezekiah. The song is titled Remnant. Only a remnant. Yahuah is establishing his witness in a remnant. Yahuah is establishing his witness in a remnant. Those who rebel against the witness, the rebels, will be cut off. You have to receive the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach. Yahuah, in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, I give you praise right now for your Ruach Ha'Qodesh. I give you praise for the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach, the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, the water and the blood. I give you praise for your witness and the Shamayim, confirming it all by your word, Abba, the Ruach Ha'Qodesh in yourself. I give you praise, Yahuah, in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, the words you gave Yahusha, he gave to Yahukanan, who he gave to me. I've received this witness, I've received this Ruach Ha'Qodesh, and I've received the directive to tell your people that they must receive the witness, the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. Yahuah, in obedience to what you have spoken to me, I am doing exactly what you've called me to do. And Yahuah, I pray that you would take the reins of my lips and the reins of my tongue and reign. Like Yahusha declared, after that the Ruach Ha'Qodesh has come upon you, you shall be witnesses. Yahusha declared that those things which were necessary will be brought to our remembrance by the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. Yahuah, I'm a vessel used for your glory and your praise. Yahuah, in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, I submit myself to you. Yahuah, may I not cause anyone to stumble. May I cause no one to be turned out of the way. May I cause no one to turn up lanes. Yahuah, I have to give the word that you have given me to those that you have chosen. And I submit to you. I submit to you. I submit to your Ruach Ha'Qodesh, Yahusha, and you in me. I submit. Yeah. I receive the Ruach. I receive its instruction. I receive it. Yeah. I receive it, Yahuah. In the name of Yahusha. In the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Yahuah, my strength and my redeemer. Listen. Only a remnant. Only a remnant. And we know that a remnant is a number, right? We know that the remnant is a number selected from a group, right? And we know that Yahuah has those who he has chosen. Those who he has chosen to be a part of the witness. And those who hear this Masorah and receive it, the witness, are a part of the remnant, right? Who receive it and walk in it. Listen, Hezekiah, song is titled Only a Remnant. I don't own the rights to this music. Hallelujah. Listen, man of Yah, woman of Yah, only a remnant. Only a remnant. Only a remnant are going to make it. Right? Only a remnant. Hebrew. Yeah. You who are the called, the chosen, the people of Yahuah, only a remnant from you. Because you're going to be stiff-necked. Going to be rebellious. And which Yahuah himself is in this wilderness putting down. Because you won't receive the witness. You rebel against Yahuah's command to receive Yahusha HaMashiach. We in Hebrews. We're in Hebrews, the 2nd chapter. Yahuah told me to move in from Acts to Hebrews. And now I'm understanding, because he has an urgency. There's an urgency attached to the witness. Right? And Yahuah is going to wake up his people first. He's going to quicken them first. See, everything Yahusha and Yahuah do is, what is it, cynical? I think that's the word. Anyway, it's what has been done that he's going to do again, right? Right? Yahusha came, delivered the witness to the people, right? Right? They had to receive that witness in their dispensation, right? Before the world became darkened, to establish the remnant, right? And put this word, right, out so that we would, who receive it in our dispensation, right, receive the revelation, the awakening, could move into the quickening, right, and be established in the Ruach Ha'Qodesh in the time that we're in, and get this witness to our brethren, right, and to the other nations, because everything Yahusha does is what he's done before. But this is the final hurrah. Right? Right? This is the righteous selected from the righteous plant. This is the 7 week coming to an end. Right? And from that there is going to be an everlasting righteousness that's going to prevail because of the witness that is received in you, right? An establishment of Yahusha's kingdom, Yahuwah's kingdom in the Eretz, right? To the place where when Yahusha returns, he has subjects to establish as pillars in his kingdom, and only those who have received the witness, who've been cleansed, who've been washed, who keep Torah, right? Who are zealous for Torah because they've received the witness and they recognize that in the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach, by the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, they can now keep the commandments. And they do it in the Ruach Ha'Qodesh because the Ruach Ha'Qodesh continues to lead them and guide them into all truth. The Ruach Ha'Qodesh lets you know when you get out of line. Oh yeah, it's going to trouble you before you even get off into anything. He going to tell you, don't do that, son. Don't do that, daughter. Right? The Ruach Ha'Qodesh. Because without the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, whatever comes to your mind, you're going to do it. Because you are yet carnal without Yahuwah's witness and the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. You're going to take those thoughts, those seeds, and you're going to run with them and bring them to pass. Because you have not received the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach, which leads you and guides you into all truth. The guiding is the truth that when you are about to be confronted with something that's going to take you outside of the will and the purpose of Yahusha, the witness on the inside of you is going to say, don't do that, son. Don't do that, daughter. That's why you need the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, because without it, you're going to fulfill the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and you are going to be a child of disobedience. Listen. You can have Yahusha's Torah, right? You can have Yahuwah's Torah. I'm a Torah keeper, right? Hebrew. You can have the Torah. But the Torah and keeping the Torah and reading the Torah without the Ruach Ha'Qodesh ain't going to keep you. Without the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach, it's not going to keep you. You can study it till you're blue in the face. It's not going to keep you. You have to be established in the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach. Hebrews. It's transition from knowing who you are to being established in Yahusha HaMashiach's witness. Having what you need to get the job done. That which is going to lead you and guide you into all truth. That which is going to keep you. Right? That's what's going to cause you to endure to the end. You got to have the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. There remaineth no more sacrifice. There is nothing else that you can do other than what Yahusha has done in Yahusha HaMashiach that's going to cause you to be pleasing in Yahuah. Listen, you have to avail yourself of the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach. You have to believe in, if you got to confess with your mouth and believe in your heart that Yahuah has sent Yahusha, right? And confess with your mouth, believe in your heart that Yahuah has raised him from the dead, Yahusha. You have to do this, right? You have to you have to go by the water. You got to go by the blood, and you have to receive the witness of the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. That's the only way you're going to be established in his kingdom. There's no other way, bro. There's no other way, Hebrew. Yasharal, Yahudah, there is no other way. Listen, you can't do it in Torah alone. Our forefathers didn't do it in Torah alone. They didn't. They didn't do it. They weren't able to do it because they were carnally minded. They didn't have the Ruach of Yahuah and Yahusha on the inside of them. Right? He has established us as sons and daughters by Yahusha HaMashiach. Right? Having been quickened, made alive, establishing us in the kingdom of Yahuah and Elohiym. This is what it looks like. It's not what they done in the past, right? It isn't, unless it's from the point where Yahusha HaMashiach's witness has established them. Because if you were able to do it in Torah, Yahusha would have never come. If it was able to be done in Torah, right, only, right, then Ezekiel would have never had written about it in the script. It would have never been written in Elisha. It would have never been written of what was going to occur by Enoch, who wrote everything before anybody did. Now we know Enoch's writings were done by someone other than Enoch. Right. Well, there's some theories in regards to the books that were written. That Moshe wrote a lot of the books that were recorded, not just the 5 books of Moshe. Right. So that's kind of why. But at any rate, it was recorded. Right. Yahuah is revealing, right, the 7-fold doctrine of creation by the Ruach Ha'Qodesh and those who bear his witness. It's all in the book. But it's Ruachally discerned. And listen, in the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, there's no confusion. Listen, when you hear the word in the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, it's not a confusing thing. Now, if you don't have the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, you may present the word in a confusing way, right? But it's not confusing. Now, you have to have the Ruach Ha'Qodesh in order to discern and to know the truth. See, that's why, listen, cemeteries has set us up for failure. It has. The teachings of men have set Hebrews up for failure. especially in Christianity, because they have used their deductive reasoning, right? They use their own understanding and their capacity to come up with conclusions to establish these doctrines and these ideologies that we were under the influence of. I praise Yahuah, right? Because, I went to college looking to get a degree in religion and philosophy, right? And then to go on to seminary, right? That was the plan. But when Yahuah's plan, right? Because Yahuah revealed to me when I was going through the process that this is not that. I bucked against it. I bucked against the professors that taught it. I'm like, wait a minute. How is that this when it says this, right? How does the Holy Spirit factor into what you're saying? I used to say stuff like that, right? It got to the point where I didn't want nothing to do with it because I knew there was something wrong with it, right? Because I had the Ruach Ha'Qodesh at a young age, right? And Yahuah wasn't going to let me get caught up in that madness, right? So I walked away from all of that and went into social work. Got a degree in social work, right? Right? That was a waste of time, too. I would have been better off becoming an electrician. Working with my hands. But Yahuah took me in the course and the direction that I'm in, right? Right? And I don't regret any of it because he's worked it all together for the good and brought me to where I am to this day, right? I don't regret anything, right? Because I know Yahusha took it and brought me to the place where I am now, that I have what I have in me, that he's going to always call to my remembrance in the Ruach Ha'Qodesh that can help you, Hebrew. Listen, you got to have the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. What we've seen in Christianity ain't it. Learn not the ways of the heathen. We have been force-fed the ways of the heathen. We have been led to believe that the only way to do it is this way. The only way to do it is to get a college education. The only way to be successful is to do it this way. The only way to be an successful man of Yahuah is by going and getting a doctorate in religion and philosophy. Come on, man. What? Learn not the ways of the heathen. Why did you think he said that? Because you know what? Once we receive the witness of the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, all that becomes dung. Right? Becomes dung. Because everything you have to do has to be driven and motivated by the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. I know I got some people out there saying right now, man, come on, whatever. He said, listen, no, the Ruach Ha'Qodesh can use me and what I have. Yeah, okay. He can. He sure can. Right? He still said, don't learn the ways of the heathen. Right? Right? Don't put your confidence in them. Don't put confidence in what you've gained in them. Right? Because we've been taught to learn it a certain way. Hebrew, listen. You got to receive the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. You got to receive the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. Yeah, you have to receive the witness. You have to receive the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. And that means that you have to have the entire witness. The water, the blood, and the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, the witnesses. Listen. We're the people of Yahuah. Hebrew. We're the people of Yahuah. Let's go with it. We're in Hebrews 2nd chapter, right? And we know Paul, his goal has always been to reach his people, right? Yahuah told him his message is to the Gentiles, right? But Paul, wherever there was a synagogue, he went in, he began to preach and teach. Didn't matter where he was, right? He knew he was called to the Gentiles, but he always went into the synagogues. Because Paul had a passion for his people. And Paul wanted his people to understand that they need to receive the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. They need to recognize that Yahusha is Hamashiach. He is who Yahuah was referring to in Ezekiel. He is who Yahusha was referring to, Yahuah was referring to in the prophets. Hebrews 1:1. Elohiym, who at different times, sundry times, right? Sundry times, different times, right? Because, in different times and dispensations, Yahuah has always pointed the direction to Yahusha. Different times, different places, and different manners, right? He spoke in times past unto the fathers, our fathers, the progenitors, right, of the nations, right, by the prophets. He spoke to us by the prophets. Now listen. And haveth in these last days, in these final weeks, right? Right? And these final weeks, right? Plural, weeks. Final weeks, last days, because everything after Yahusha HaMashiach is coming, bringing closure. Right? Because Yahusha has established that in Yahuah has established in Yahusha his kingdom. Right? So now all we're doing is moving towards the kingdom. Right? Right? Because we who have received the witness, who are established in the witness, understands that we are moving towards the kingdom. We're moving towards the way that Yahuah and Yahusha does things. Right? And now in Yahusha HaMashiach, right, we can do that because we have been established in the witness. Right? Having received the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, now he is sanctified in us. Right? Right? And now because he has put his Ruach Ha'Qodesh in us, we can keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. As it was recorded in Acts by James, he said, listen, to Shaul, who gave him a report, right, of the Gentiles conversion. James told Paul, said, listen, we have thousands of Hebrews that now have received the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach and are zealous for the Torah. Because now they can keep the Torah. They have a zeal to keep Torah in the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach. Because now they have the power, the capacity, the ability to do it. In Yahusha HaMashiach, right? Which is, from his point on, the last days. Right? See, Enoch says it in weeks. Right? Enoch says it in weeks. Enoch says it from the 5th week. He says from the 5th week in Enoch's 93, the 9th verse, he says subsequently in the fourth week during its conversion, the visitation of the holy and the righteous shall be seen. That's Moshe. Visitation of the holy and the righteous shall be seen. The order of the orders seen the order of generations after generations, and a habitation shall be made for them. He's talking about the 12 tribes and their habitation, their land that Yahuah has given to them. Right? He said, then in the 5th week during its completion, right, the house of glory and dominion shall be erected forever. Yahuah and Yahusha's house, Yahuah and Jerusalem, and where the throne of righteousness is, will be established forever, right? He said, and in the 6th week, all of those, in the 6th week after that, in the 6th week, all those who are in it shall be darkened, and the hearts of them shall be forgetful, and in it a man arise, and shall come forth, right? And during its completion, he shall burn the house of dominion with fire, and all the race of the elect shall be scattered. Listen. Shaul is saying that in the last days, these days that are in Enoch, right? In these last days, right? Yahuah has spoken his son, in whom he hath appointed heir over all things, by whom also the worlds were made. We have to understand that Yahuah has appointed this Hebrew. This is what he has done. He's established the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach. He's established the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach. Yahuah. 2nd chapter, verse 1. Therefore, we ought to give the more earnest heed. Hebrews. We should give the more earnest heed. We who know we're the people of Yahuah. We who have our forefathers and what is recorded in the apostles, what is recorded in the prophets, right? We need to take heed because now we know we the people. Look what our fathers did. Look what our forefathers did. Over and over and over and over again. Even when he gave Moshe the commandments, he said, these people ain't going to obey me. They are stiff-necked and rebellious. They're not going to obey me. That's why Yahuwah's going to put down a rebellion. Those who rebel are those who won't receive the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach and his Ruach Ha'Qodesh. Right? If you refuse to receive the witness, if you refuse to receive the witness, and you refuse the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, you rebellion. You're in open rebellion. You're rebelling just like your fathers did. Yahuwah said they ain't gonna listen. They stiff-necked. They hard-headed. They stubborn. Right? Yahuwah says, listen, I'm gonna pull a remnant out of them. I'm gonna wake them up. They're gonna know who they are. I'm going to wake them up. They're going to know who they are. But they still have to receive Yahushua HaMashiach's witness. They still have to receive the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. They still got to be led by the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. That's why he told me to tell you this is what it looks like. What Yahushua did. Yahushua HaMashiach did. Right? What was recorded in the Acts of the Apostles. That's what this looks like. This is what it should look like. The witness of Yahusha and Yahuwah. See, we ought to give the more earnest heed to the things which we have heard. Lest at any time we should let them slip. We need to give heed. We who have received the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach, we need to always recognize what Yahusha has provided in the witness and in the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. We can't let it slip. We can't get caught up. Therefore, we ought to give the more earnest heed to the things which we have heard. The things that you've heard concerning the prophets. How that correlates to Yahusha HaMashiach. And how he was made better than the angels. How he received a name that was better than the angels. How he was given a scepter of righteousness, a throne, a kingdom. Right? Right? We need to give heed. We need to look at what the prophets had spoken and recognize Yahusha HaMashiach in the volume of the book. We have to. Right? He says, for if the word spoken by angels was steadfast, the angels spoke directly to the prophets. Gave them a word. Every word that the angel give is steadfast. Because it's a Torah, because he's saying what Yahuah says. Angels don't strike out on their own with their own words. They don't strike out on their own unless it's Hasatan and demons. But the Malachim that serve Yahuah, they go forth with the Torah of Yahuah. And if they give you a Torah and you don't obey it, guess what? There is something that they're going to delve out to you because you didn't obey their word. Listen. For if the word spoken by angels was steadfast, and every transgression and disobedience received a just recompense of reward, angels who disobeyed Yahuah, right? Angels that rebelled against the Torah of Yahuah. Angels that didn't give heed to what Yahuah had said and decided they was going to do what they wanted to do. They're going to receive a just recompense of reward. Because we're going to judge them. We who are in his kingdom. Those who have received his witness. Those who Yahuah and Yahusha and the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, because these three are one, reside in you. Listen, in a measure, right? Right? You're going to judge angels. Every transgression and disobedience receives a just recompense of reward. They get judged. And if they get judged, you can expect you're going to get judged. Oh yeah, you're going to get judged. Every disobedience. Because, see, angels had to obey Yahuwah's Torah. Right? Right? His Torah. Because the angels have a Torah. And their Torah is that they obey Yahusha's every word. Their Torah is that they obey Yahuwah's every word. Right? That's our Torah too, but our Torah is the Ten Commandments and whatever 619 other one, or the 600 whatever, all of them, right? In their respective places in order, right? We were to obey, and we still are to obey. And now we can because we have the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. Right? But every disobedience has a recompense of reward. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. Let's look at this, right? Let's look at this. He says, for if the word spoken by Malachim was steadfast, which means that it came to pass. Every word that the Malachim said came to pass. Every word that the Malachim spoke was the word that Yahusha or Yahuah gave him to carry out. It came to pass because you have to consider the source. The source is Yahuah, Yahusha. It has to come to pass. For the word spoken by angels was steadfast. Steadfast. Let's look at that word steadfast in the Greek. Right?
Strong's G, 949. Bebayas.
Bebayas. Right? It is stable. It's sure. It's firm. It's trustworthy. Every word. Because every word of Yahuah, every word of Yahuah is stable, fast, firm, sure, trustworthy, trusty. That's Yahuwah's word. Listen, Hebrew. Every word that is in this Basora, the Torah, that Yahuah has given by men in inspiration to angels, and through them spoken directly. Listen, every word was sure. Every word is steadfast. Every word is sure. Ezekiel 36 and 23. When Yahusha said through Ezekiel, I will sanctify my great name, you can count on it. I'm a witness. Because he has put his witness in me, I have received the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, and I am sanctifying his great name amongst the heathen. Which was profaned amongst the heathen, which ye have also profaned in the midst of them. It was profaned by them, and you've profaned it in the midst of them. He said, and the heathen shall know that I am Yahuah, that saith Adonai Yahuah, when I shall be sanctified in you before them. For if the word spoken by angels was steadfast, and every transgression and disobedience received a just recompense of reward, right? A just return reward. Recompense is the return. Okay, let's look at this. Steadfast, you know what a transgression is. You know what disobedience is, right? It's going to receive a just, right? Because there's going to be just consequences to your rebellion. He's going to put you down. Every branch that don't produce fruit is cut off. It's gathered up to be burned. You're going to burn. That is his justice, Hebrew, for you rebelling against the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach, right? Whom Yahuah at sundry times and in different manners spake in times past unto the fathers by the prophets, right? Haveth in these last days spoken unto us by his son Yahusha, who he hath appointed over all things, by whom also he made all things, right? Who being the brightness of his glory and the express image of his person, who upholding all things by the Torah of his power, right? When he had by himself purged our sins, sat down on the right hand of Majesty on high. Listen, you refuse to witness? You rebel against the witness, the Ruach Ha'Qodesh witness. You are going to receive for your disobedience and your transgression, right, a just recompense. You're going to receive justice. And you're going to receive Yahuwah's justice. You don't want Yahuwah to deal out his justice. When all you need to do is receive the witness of Yahusha Mashiach and let his blood, his water, and the Ruach Ha'Qodesh establish you in his kingdom. Why? Why would you allow yourself, right, to deny the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach that the prophet spoke about, right? Why would you deny yourself the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach who's going to get you kingdom access? He says, who being the brightness of his glory and the express image of his person, upholding all things by the word, the Torah word of his power, Ruach Ha'Qodesh, power, exousia, authority, power, dunamus, power, right? Right? And when he had himself, Yahusha, purged our sins. Purged our sins. Purged our sins. And listen, if you don't receive the purging that comes through Yahusha's blood and receiving his witness, Ezekiel 20:38, and I will purge from among you the rebels. If you don't allow Yahusha's blood to purge you, to cleanse you, right, to establish you, establish you in the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach, he's going to purge you from the kingdom. He's going to remove you. You ain't going to even get into the kingdom. You're going to be cut off. You're going to be burned. This is a word for the Hebrew. This is a word for Hebrews. He says, in John the 15th chapter, 2nd verse, every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he takes away. Right? Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he takes away. Right? He takes away. He takes away. Right? Okay, let's look at this. This is the etymology of the word he takes away. Right?
Strong's G 142. Iro.
Right? Iro. To carry off, to carry away, right? To appropriate, to take, right? To take away from another, right? Right? Commit to him to take by force, right? To take from amongst the living, the natural dead, or by violence. Yahuwah is going to take you away. Every branch that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purges, or he prunes. Right? Right? That it may bring forth more fruit. He said, now you're cleansed through the words which I have spoken unto you. He said, abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine. No more can ye, except ye abide in me. Listen. Yasharah and Yahudah. You have to receive the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. Right? Listen. If a man abides not in me, he is cast forth as a branch, and it withers, and men gather them up and cast them into the fire to be burned. Hebrew. You're going to be purged. You're going to be cut off. Right? You're going to wither. Right? And you're going to be burned. Listen. And being so much better than the angels, he obtained an inheritance, Hebrews 1:4, a more excellent name than they. Yahusha is better than the angels. Yahusha has Yahuwah's name. He is Yahuwah's only begotten. He has Yahuwah's name. Yahusha. Yah salvation. There is no other name given unto men. Yah salvation, Yahusha. Hebrews 2, verse 2. For if the word spoken by angels was steadfast, sure, and every transgression and obedience received a recompense of reward, right? Or recompense. That word in the Greek, recompense, is
Strong's G 3405, Mistapadasia. Mistapadasia.
Yeah, that. A payment. A wage. A payment, a wage. A wage that is due. Right? The wages of sin is death. But the gift of Yahuah Eluah in Yahusha is life. You have to receive the witness. You have to come and be washed. You have to come and receive the sacrifice. And you have to receive the witness of the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, which is the power that establishes you in his kingdom. You have to have the whole witness. I know it's redundant, right? But you know what? This Masorah must be preached. This Masorah, this witness must be preached. It has to be preached. It has to be preached. It has to be preached. Hebrews, I understand how Paul felt, you know. The witness has to get to the people. It has to. The witness has to get to the people. Right? Yahuah, 1 Yahuah 5:5. Who is he that overcometh the world? Who overcomes the world? But he that believeth that Yahusha HaMashiach is the son of Elohiym. Who overcomes? Him who has received the witness of Yahuwah and Yahusha. He that came by water and blood. Listen, Hebrew, you know, even in the original covenant, you had to wash before you approached Yahusha, right? And then you had Yahuwah, there had to be sacrifice for sin. The process. Now the thing is that Yahusha has done that for you, and all you have to do is be baptized, wash, receive the sacrifice of Yahusha's blood as atonement for your sin, right? And receive the gift, the witness that establishes you in him, the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, the Ruach Ha'Qodesh of truth, him and the Father in you. Listen, there is nothing new under the sun. You need to receive the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach. Bruise. You got to receive the witness. You got to receive the witness. Listen. This is he that came by water and blood, even Yahusha. Yah salvation, Yahusha HaMashiach. Right? Not by water only, but by water and blood. Right? And it is the Ruach Ha'Qodesh that bears witness, because the Ruach Ha'Qodesh is the Ruach Ha'Qodesh of truth. It is truth. That's why, you know, if you have received the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach and the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, listen, it's going to present the truth. you are going to receive the truth. He says there are three that bear record in the heavens, the Shamayim, right? The Father, the Word, the Father, Abba, the Word, Yahusha made flesh, right? And the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. These three are one. Yahusha says, I and the Father will come and live with you. You shall receive power after the Ruach Ha'Qodesh is come upon you. The Ruach Ha'Qodesh and Yahusha and the Father are one. Listen. These three bear record in the Shamayim. The Father, the Word, and the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. These three are one. When you receive the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach, the Father, the Son, and the Ruach HaQodesh lives in you. The Ruach HaQodesh of truth, the Spirit of truth. Right? Now listen, you ain't walking around like Yahuah and Yahusha and the Ruach HaQodesh in fullness. Not in this vessel. Not until he changes you, right? But he's dealt to you a measure enough of what you need to get the job done to reach the people for his kingdom, because this is what this is. Listen, he sanctified us for the kingdom. His kingdom come in the earnest. He's establishing his kingdom in the earnest where he has always intended for it to be established. He said, listen, there are three that bear record. Three that bear record in the Shamayim. Abba, the Word, and the Ruach HaQodesh. These three are one. And there are three that bear record, that there are three that witness or bear record or testify in the earnest. Right? The Ruach HaQodesh, the water, and the blood. These three are one. They agree. You must abide in them. You must remain and continue with them. You are his if you've received the witness. Hebrew. Listen, for if the word spoken by angels was steadfast, means the word that the angels spoke came to pass. And every transgression, be it your transgression or an angel's transgression, right, was steadfast. Every transgression and disobedience received justice. Yahuah's justice. It comes with compensation. Be not deceived. Yahuah will not be mocked. Whatsoever a man sows, that shall he also reap. You are going to receive a recompense of reward. You are going to receive a harvest of what you have sown. If you fail to receive the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach, justice dictates that you are going to be a branch that is going to be picked up and burned because you are going to be cut off. Got to receive the witness. Got to receive the witness. You got to receive the witness. Hebrew, listen. In the Torah, the witness is the same as it is in the renewed covenant. You have to wash. You have to receive an atonement sacrifice in order for your sins to be covered. And Yahusha HaMashiach, right? You received the water baptism, right? You received the blood that cleanses you, that purges you from sin. You are now a vessel that can house the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, the witness of Yahuah, that will empower you with signs and will give you the capacity to keep the Torah. It will give you the ability to keep the Torah. You're going to receive a justice. You're going to receive justice. You're going to receive justice. Because if you don't receive the witness that came to our fathers by the prophets, if you don't receive that sure word that was spoken to us by the prophets, right? And hath in these last days spoken unto us by his son Yahusha HaMashiach. He has woke you up to who you are. In the volume of the book, he has led you to Yahusha HaMashiach, revealing who Yahusha was in the original covenant and bringing it to bear to who he is in this renewed covenant, to reestablish a covenant with us, right? He says, listen, haveth in these last days spoken unto us by his son, Yahusha, Yah salvation, who has a name that is above all names. He's heir over all things. You got to receive the witness. You got to receive the witness. Because he has purged our sins by his own blood. Yahusha. He's purged our sins. Listen. This is Hebrews. You know, this may take us a while to get through this because Yahuwah's trying to walk this down to you. He's trying to help you to understand Hebrew. Listen. Verse 3 of chapter 1 of Hebrews, who being the brightness of his glory, the express image of his person, upholding all things by the word of his power, when he had by himself purged our sins. He sat down on the right hand of the Majesty on high. Being made so much better than the angels, and haveth obtained inheritance, more excellent name than they. Yahusha. Mikael, Gabriel, right? And all the rest of the elves that are in Genesis, the ones that fell, right? But they all had elves, or Yahusha's name is Yahuah. Yahusha's name is Yahusha. Yah salvation. None of the angels had Yah in their name. Yahusha. Hebrews, 2nd chapter. For if the word spoken by angels was steadfast, and every transgression and disobedience received a just recompense of reward, right? How shall you Hebrews escape if you neglect so great a Yeshua? How you going to escape if you neglect this Yeshua, this salvation, Yahuwah's salvation? How are you going to escape if you don't abide in the vine? How are you going to escape? How you going to escape? How you going to escape? Because he going to purge you, rebel. He's going to purge you, rebel. He's going to purge you. Rebel. He's going to purge you. How will you escape if you neglect this Yeshua in the land of your captivity? He says, as I live, saith, this is Ezekiel 20:33. As I live, saith Adonai Yahuah, surely with my mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out, I ruled over you. He did. He poured out his fury on us. In the lands of our captivity, he scattered us. And they poured out vengeance because Yahuah did it. Because we rebelled. Every word that the angel had spoken. Listen, let's do this. Let's do this then. Let's do this. Let's do it another way. Right? We will come back to that. But listen. Let's just do it this way. Right? Wrath poured out. Right? Y'all know the curses. Deuteronomy 28 and 21. And Yahuah shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until thou have consumed thee from off the land whither thou goest to possess. And Yahuah shall smite you with the consumption, and with the fever, and with inflammation, and with extreme burnings, with the sword, with the blast, with the mildew, till he pursue you until you perish. Yahuah. 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 Ezekiel 20 and 33. As I live, saith Yahuah Adonai, surely with the mighty hand and with the stretched out arm and with fury poured out, will I rule over you. And I will bring you from among the people, and will gather you out of the countries wherein you are scattered, with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out, right? Yeah, he gonna do it to you, right? And then when he gets ready, he gonna pull you out. He said, the heavens shall, and the heavens, the Shamaim that is over thine head shall be as brass, and the earth is iron. He says, and the land will not give its rain, right? I will cause you to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way and flee before them 7 ways, until I remove you, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. The prophets, right? Right? He says, and I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, right? And I will plead with you face to face, like I pled with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Mitzrayim, the lands of our captivity. He's pleading with you. He's using me to plead with you. See, because this is going to go to those who have an ear to hear. Oh yeah, this word is going to go to those who have an ear to hear, who receive his witness, because he told me to tell you, you need to receive the witness and receive the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, because it ain't enough to be Hebrew. And I'm doing it because I love you and I'm passionate about what Yahuah has called me to do. That's why I do it all the time. He's pleading with you. He says, and I will bring you into the wilderness, right, of the people, and will I plead with you face to face. And as I pled with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Mitzrayim, so will I plead with you, saith Adonai Yahuah. Right? I will cause you to pass under the rod and bring you into the bond of the renewed covenant. Because it ain't nothing new. It was a covenant that he had established with your fathers that they broke. That he had reestablished in Yahusha HaMashiach. And those who've received the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach. Right? Right? Those who pass under the rod. Right? Those who he numbers. Those who are a part of the sheepfold or the kingdom of Elohiym. Right? Those who pass under the rod. Right? Those who are in the vine. Those that are the righteous that are selected from the plant of righteousness. Those he's going to bring. The covenant. With the people. To rule in his kingdom. On the erect. Because, see, the covenant is about the kingdom. The covenant is an agreement that Yahuah is making with a people who he has established his kingdom with. Yahuah's kingdom come. This is about the kingdom. This is about the plan that Yahuah has to establish his kingdom from the beginning. And he's going to purge out the rebels from among you. Those who don't want to receive the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach. He's going to purge. That's why he sent you in the Mitzrayim in ships. Because you rebelled. Deuteronomy 28:64. And Yahuah will scatter you among all people, from one end of the earth to the other, and there shalt thou serve else. Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, and all the other isms. Serve them. In the lands of your captivity. Egyptology. Serve other else. And Yahuah shall scatter thee among all the people from one end of the earth even to the other, and there thou shalt serve other else, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, of wood and stone. That old rugged wooden cross that Constantine established Christianity with, who went forth and conquered in the name of the cross, who established the Christian faith, who moved Yahuah's Shabbat, profaned his name, and put it on Sunday, and incorporated other El worship in the overall presentation, taking the Basura and the Torah and mixing in this pagan heathenistic stuff. They profaned his name. Because they didn't have the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. Because Constantine did not have the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. And those who were his followers and helped advance, who helped forward the afflictions Oh yeah, because he went everywhere. The tentacles went everywhere. Right? Went everywhere. Yahusha told them to preach the Besorah truth to all creatures. Right? And then that man came. The man who burnt down the house of dominion and took the race. Verse 11, 93 of Enoch. And during the completion, he shall burn down the house. He shall burn down the house of dominion with fire, and all the race, Hebrew race. Hebrew race. Right? Hebrew race. You know, they got this whole whoopee thing going now, huh? The Jewish people were upset with her because she had said that I think she alluded to the fact that the Jewish people weren't a race, and how people in their own nation say they're not a race. Right? Hebrews is a race of people. It's in Enoch. Enoch 93, verse 11. And during the completion, he shall burn the house of dominion with fire, and all the race of the elect root shall be dispersed. Listen, we have been scattered throughout all four corners of the earth, and everybody knows it. Transatlantic slave trade was it. We all know it. We left in the millions when Yahusha gave us the word to, but then, there was those that stayed there. Yeah, but we went into Africa. Right? The royal house of David, we were ended up in Spain and Portugal. Right? Our ancestry, our descendants ended up in Spain and Portugal. Yeah. Who became the Negroes. Right? Right? They were the descendants of the royal family of the house of David. We grew. We multiplied. We did what we did as Hebrews. And when the red dragon recognized, right, that we were keeping Shabbat and we were doing those things, she's like, okay, no, we got to get in and we got to disrupt that program. We got to send some papal bulls and write a few edicts and establish some things. We got to take control of them. They are excelling in wealth. Listen, we went over into Africa. Timbuktu. We scattered amongst the people, serving gods of wood and stone. And among these nations, we shall find no ease, neither shall the soles of our foot find rest. Right? I was watching something on Algiers news, right? It was on the show. It was a show about how Hebrews, right? They refer to them as black women, but Hebrew women get abducted all the time, and there's no publicity, there's no news, there's no nothing. But if a white woman gets abducted, right? It's all over the news. Everybody looking for her, right? Right? But our women have been abducted by the millions. Hundreds of thousands. Abducted, killed. No news media. I ain't never seen a news media anywhere that say anything about this black woman, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, Lashonda, da-da-da-da-da, has been missing. Have you seen her? Nothing. Because you know why? Among the nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the soles of thy feet find rest. But Yahuah shall give thee with a trembling heart, and with failing eyes, and with sorrow of mind, right? This is what the prophet Ezekiel says, right? Right? As I live, saith Yahuah Lord, surely with a mighty hand, and with stretched out arm, and with fury poured out. Let's fury, Hebrew word for fury.
Strong's H 2534. Chema.
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 Chema, right? Heat, rage, hot displeasure, indignation, anger, wrath, poison, right? Venom, burning anger, rage. Listen, Hebrew. Yahuah has spoken to you through his son, Yahusha HaMashiach. He's spoken to you through his son, Yahusha HaMashiach. Right? And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have not assurance for thy life. Listen, black man in the car, right? Lights, flashing lights, get to going and get pulled over. Wow, first thing he do is, this may be it. Listen, let's go to 68. And Yahuah shall bring thee into Mitzrayim again with ships, by the way which whereof I spake unto you. Mitzrayim is bondage, slavery. It's not the literal Egypt, it's bondage, it's slavery, right? He will bring you into Mitzrayim again on ships whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more, and there shall be sold unto thy enemies. Come on, y'all, that's us. Arab slave trade first. Transatlantic slave trade second. It's taking aboard the good ship Jesus. Cast over the side of the ship by the hundreds of thousands. Listen, you better get a clue. It's not just knowing that you're Hebrew, because that didn't get us anywhere. And you can't keep the laws, the statutes, and commandments without faith in Hamashiach, without having received the witness. You have to receive the water, ceremonial cleansing water, just like in the original covenant. And the blood of a sacrifice has to be offered, right? And you have to receive the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, because that's the only thing that's going to set you apart. That's the key. Yahuah's Ruach in you. Yahuah and Yahusha and the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. These three are one in you. He says, how shall we escape if we neglect so great of Yeshua, which at the first began to be spoken by Yahuah, Adonai, and was confirmed unto us by them that heard him. It was spoken by Yahusha. And it was confirmed unto us by them who heard him speak. He was the Torah made flesh. He was the word of Yahusha. He says, Elohiym also bearing witness, both with signs and wonders, and with diverse miracles, and the gifts of the Ruach Ha'Qodesh according to his own will. Yahuah bore witness. How? By giving you the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. By in Yahusha demonstrating signs and wonders, which demonstrated the power. It's demonstrations of power. Signs, wonders, and diverse miracles. Right? By the Kodesh Ruach. Having gifts of Ruach. You can't do this without it, man. You ain't going to be established in the kingdom. Listen, and the gifts are established for the kingdom's sake. The gifts are for the purpose of establishing the kingdom work. The gifts are established for the kingdom. Man of Yah, woman of Yah. You got to receive the witness. Yasharal and Yehuda. You got to receive the witness. Can't neglect it. You can't neglect what the prophets have said concerning Yahusha HaMashiach. You can't neglect it. Because if you neglect it, right, he is going to purge out from among those who are the established in the covenant rebels. And a rebel is those who rebel against the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach. Those who continue to walk in disobedience. Those who don't remain, continue, and dwell in Yahusha HaMashiach's witness. It's going to purge you out. And you know everything that's purged is gathered up and burned. So in essence, you're done. It's a wrap. You ain't getting into the kingdom. He says, verse 34, he says, and I will bring you out from among the people. I will gather you out of the countries wherein you were scattered after he sanctifies his great name. With a mighty hand and with stretched out arm and with fury poured out. It's line upon line, precept upon precepts. I will bring you into the wilderness of the people. There I will plead with you face to face. He will plead with you. He's pleading with you now. Person to person. Before, behind, towards. Yahusha's going to plead with you. Now listen. Yahusha's going to plead with you face to face. Now don't get it twisted. Yahusha ain't going to pop up you with his face. Yahuah ain't going to come to you with his face. He going to send someone who has his Ruach Ha'Qodesh that witnesses and testifies to him and his word. And they're going to be him, his face to you. Because you know what? He's going to hold you accountable for the witness you received. From that man of Yahuah that was telling you what Yahuah's word says. That was showing you what Yahuah's word said. Face to face. He says, like as I plead with your fathers. Who did he plead with the fathers with? Prophets. Those that carried his word. In the wilderness of Mitzrayim. He's pleading with you now in the wilderness of Mitzrayim. And I will plead with you, saith Yahuah, and I will cause you to pass in the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant. You have received the witness, right? You who have received the witness, you who have been numbered as sheep, you who are part of the fold, you who have received the witness of Yahusha Mashiach, that are in the bond of the renewed covenant. He said, I will purge out the rebels among you, those who transgress against me. Oh, listen, I keep Torah. I keep Yahuwah's Torah. Now, if you don't receive the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach, you're in rebellion. Not if you don't receive Yahusha HaMashiach, you're in rebellion. Not if you don't receive Yahusha HaMashiach, you're in rebellion. He's going to put down the rebels. And I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Yasharal, and ye shall know that I am Yahuwah. You ain't coming into the land of Yahuwah. You ain't coming into the land of Yahuwah. You coming out, but where you going, who knows? Maybe become somebody else's slave, somebody else's captive. But you ain't coming in the land of Yasharal. He says, as for you, O house of Yasharal, thus saith Adonai Yahuwah, go ye and serve every man his idols. Now he was speaking in reference to what he was talking about in the first chapter when he was saying, speak unto the elders and say, thus saith Yahuwah, you will require of me. Right? So now he's going back to that point where he's saying, right? Where's that? Where he's saying, where he's saying, as for you, Yasharal, O house of Israel, thus saith Adonai Yahuwah, go ye and serve every man one his idols. And hereafter also I will not hearken unto you, but pollute ye my holy name no more with your gifts and your idols. So he was referring back to what he had told Ezekiel to tell the elders that came to speak to him. Listen, you got to be able to rightly divide this Torah. You got to be able to hear the witness. You got to be able to hear the Ruach. You have to be led into all truth. Man of Yah, we're going to stop there. Woman of Yah, we're going to stop there. We're going to pick it up at the second chapter, the 5th verse. Line upon line, precept upon precept. Yahuwah wanted me to do this in Hebrews. Because the witness is still the same. You need the witness, you need the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. Yahuwah, the words you have given me, I've given them. And I pray in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach that they would receive this witness. Yahudah, Yasharal received the witness. He's establishing one nation. He's calling those who receive the witness. The two sticks are coming together. They are going to be one. Yahuwah, I pray that they would receive your witness. I pray in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach they would receive it by the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. Yahuwah, again, I pray that nothing that I've said has injured anyone, caused anyone to go astray or stumble. But Yahuwah, I declare by your Ruach Ha'Qodesh of truth that this word would come alive. It would quicken in everyone who receives the witness. I pray the yokes are broken right now in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach. Those things that would hinder them from receiving the witness. I pray for the nation of Yasharal. I pray for assemblies that are broken. I pray in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach that they would receive the witness, that they would be established in the witness, that they would be driven to preach and teach the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach, and that they would reach the brethren. Yahuah, this is not that which we came from. Yahuah, in the name of Yahusha, you said, learn not the ways of the heathen. Yahuah, I pray in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach that this witness, this Besorah, would be continued to preach. Yahuah, I pray that those that hear it and receive it, go forth in it, in the name of Yahusha, by the power of the Ruachakadesh. Yahuah, I pray in the name of Yahusha Mashiach. I pray in the name of Yahusha Mashiach, that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable, Yahuah, thy sight. Yahuah, my strength and my redeemer. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, listen. Yahuwah's word is true. Yeah, it is. And his witness is true. Yahusha. And he has, by Yahusha, at sundry times and diverse manners, right, revealed himself to the prophets. Yeah, he has. The witness of Yahusha HaMashiach. And you have to receive his witness. You have to receive the witness. You have to receive the witness. Because if you don't, Zion, you got to receive the witness. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, called to greatness. Woman of Yahuah, beautifully and wonderfully made. Only a remnant. With that I say, listen. Shalom, 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 shalom. And Yahuwah's blessings and favor go with you in the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, having received the witness and being established in him. That I say, listen, shalom, shalom, shalom. Torah Garden, speaking the absolute truth. Torah Nation.